Okay, in this screencast, I'm going to continue with putting together the various bits and pieces we have already learned, and to just try and build a picture of how we can use the storyboards and the template as a starting point for some other interfaces. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, we've already seen the navigation view controller in use with the table view, which is the kind of normal mode of operation. So if I take out another navigation controller and just zoom out a little bit, move it out the way. You can see, obviously, the navigation controller has a relationship with the table view controller, what the navigation controller provides is the navigation as you go through a hierarchy of views, providing a back button as required and so on. So it doesn't have to be a table view. So to show that, I'll just delete this one, segue, and I'll delete this table view controller, and instead I'll make the navigation controller the initial view controller. So it's got the arrow here, and I'll make the view controller with the UI with web view that came in with the template. I'll make this the contents of the navigation controller, like so, and it's a relationship segue. So this is now known as the root view controller. It would be at the base of the hierarchy. In that UI web view could be anything. So we want to put something in there, so I'll just do the usual drop a web project in, create folder, references, copy files, and then just do the small code edit here. So if we run that, what we should see is more or less what we had before, but contained within a navigation controller. So let's run this in the simulator. Okay, so we have the UI web view, and we have the navigation bar of the navigation controller. So how can we expand on that? We could have a gesture in this that leads into another view. So I'll just put out a plain view controller. Add in image view, and I don't have an image, so I'll get one. And drop that into the project, copying the file, added. There we go. So what I could do initially, I'll just make a start on this and just make that smaller and add something like a button. So let's just add a button in there, and from the button, control click, make that a push segue. So if we run that, yeah, let's stop that a second. We can't see it because it's this is a 4-inch, so let's try that. So hopefully we'll be able to see that button. So you click on the button, it pushes this one in, and then you go back. So we have the navigation controller doing its job, and it's not, as you see, not the table view that's normally associated, but it still functions in the same way. So instead of having the button, I want to add a gesture. So we'll take a closer look at this. So we have the view and then the web view. As before, it'd probably be wise to disable interaction on the web view in this case, and make the view the receptor for a swipe gesture. So I'm going to drag this in to adding it to the view, and then this gesture recognizer, I'm going to control drag that in here, make that a push segue. And I could actually delete the button, put this back to full screen. So that's a swipe, activates the next view. And then I can stop that there. And so you could continue on in a similar way. I could then have another view controller. I could just chain these all together, and this one I'll just put in anything. So these are all iOS interface elements, text fields, slider, button, progress bar. So these are all just bits and pieces. I can put them in there, and then on this one I can do the same sort of thing. So I can just add the swipe right again. It doesn't actually probably matter which it goes on to. So if I use the same methodology, I would put it on the view and make sure that the image view has no interaction which it doesn't. So the view has interaction enabled, and that's the view that it's associated with. So it would just be a case of control clicking again from that one to that one, and it's a push. And so we'll just run that. So that's fine. The only thing that's on this here, just looking to see if there was a better way, but the navigation bar that's provided there obviously sits across the top, and that's too high up, so I'll just move that down. Okay, and then run it again. So it's just a swipe and a swipe, and then back and then back. So I've got a feeling that that would be more intuitive if you were swiping that way. It's like pushing the page that way rather than that way. So all you need to do is go back on each of these, select the gesture recognizer and make it swipe left. And then that's as far as we go. So it's pushing this way. So it would be nice to be able to push the other way, so instead of clicking the back button, push that way. And there's a sort of a trick to this. So if I take this view controller of UI web view, that's DJ view controller. So if we look at the file, we get to use one of our code snippets here, and the trick is return from segue, adds IB action return to previous, and that's an unwind. That acts as an unwind for moving back. So what we want to move back from is from this one here. Add the swipe gesture. Add it to the view. So that's there's two of them. There's a swipe left and a swipe right. So we want so the swipe left we've already set up, so it's a swipe right. So that swipe right is going swipe left has the action push view controller, so it's the other one, it's a swipe right. We want its action to if we control click we want its action to go into this exit, or you can click it on there, exit, and return to previous. That's the unwind segue that we defined. So if we run that, we have the swipe that way, and then if we swipe the opposite way, that actually does what we want. But it doesn't on this one, so we need something similar on there. So within this view controller, that's a class UI view controller. We don't want our swipe left to go all the way back to the beginning. We want it to go back into this one. So we're going to have to make a custom UI view controller in order to accommodate the unwind to here. So we want a UI view controller. We want a new class. So go to File, New, File, and Objective-C class. Let me just call it Image View Controller, and it's a subclass of View Controller. And then just I'll save it in this folder along with the other classes and save. So we have this new view controller there, in which we don't need to do anything apart from add the unwind segue from the code snippets. I'll just change the name of it to distinguish it from the first one. Then go back to the storyboard. And so this one here, at the end of the chain, we want a back. So similar, we want a swipe gesture recognizer on there. And that one goes to exit, and it's return to other, should return it to there. So if we try that, so swipe left, swipe left, swipe, that one not working. So we just need to troubleshoot that, what happened. Okay, I realised what I missed. This return to other returns to the new image view controller, but this view controller is still the generic UI view controller, so that's not going to work until it has the class, the custom class, and that's now its view controller, so it should return there. So let's try that. Okay, so we're effectively navigating in the hierarchy of views, but it's a flat hierarchy, and it's just giving us a convenient new interface and helping us to understand a little bit more about how we can construct interfaces in Xcode.